Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of The Toy Shelf. I'm your host Mitch Live, and I collect action figures. It's almost Halloween, but of course, it's never too early to start celebrating here on The Toy Shelf, so today we are going to be having a look at figures from the horror sci-fi series Stranger Things. Stranger Things is, of course, the hit Netflix series that came out in summer of 2016 and was hailed by critics as being a perfect homage to the late 80s, early 90s horror sci-fi genre. It features some very recognizable names from that era of films, including Sean Astin, Paul Reiser, Winona Ryder, just to name a few, and it launched the careers of some new actors such as Finn Wolfhard and Millie Bobby Brown. It follows a group of kids in the small fictional town of Hawkins, Indiana. We've been eagerly awaiting the fourth season, or I guess I should say Stranger Things 4, because that's how they title these things. They title it like it's an ongoing movie franchise. But either way, we've been waiting a long ass time. I always associate this series with Halloween. Even though seasons 1 and 3 both had midsummer releases, they've never really given us the typical one season per year like most shows. Instead, they give us like a season every year and a half. They did release the second season on October 27th, just before Halloween, and the story in that season also begins on Halloween. So that, plus the general vibe of the show, I just think it makes for a great Halloween special. This is a 6-inch figure line made by one of the most recognizable names in the industry, McFarlane Toys. The show begins with our main antagonists, 4 friends who are just playing some D&D, or Dungeons and Dragons for the normies. And they're all hanging out in Will Byers' basement. Will is basically the one who the entire story is based around, although he's definitely not the main character. Because, spoiler alert, he disappears very early on in the first season. In fact, there really isn't one main character, it's sort of an ensemble, but if I had to pick one, it would probably be his best friend, Mike Wheeler. Mike, he knows there's some weird shit going around, and he keeps the hope alive for finding his BFF with their 2 close friends, Lucas and Dustin. Each one of these figures does come with a clear plastic stand that has the Stranger Things logo across it. Besides the stand, they also each come with a personalized accessory. You see Mike has got a flashlight here, as well as Dustin, and they each come with a backpack and a walkie-talkie, because that's a thing that they're always keeping in contact with each other with the walkie-talkies. Mike, come in! Over! Thing doesn't work. And Lucas also comes with a slingshot. And these guys stand all, like not quite 6 inches tall, because these are the kids, and they're just a little bit shorter than the adults. So in this series, around the same time that Will Byers disappears, we get introduced to another character, and that is the lovable 11. Just 11. And this character is very much wrapped up in all the paranormal stuff going on, and she can also use the Force for some shit. This was the first figure that I got from this collection. I don't know if you could tell, but if you have a look at her left leg here, you can see her ankle and her knee are both really badly bent out of shape. This is not how it's meant to come out of the box. I got kind of a bad one. But like I said, it comes with the stand, so it keeps her standing. That's good enough. And of course, her hand is posed in the very Force-like thing that she does. And she's got a little bit of blood coming out of her nose, because using the Force, makes your nose bleed. And specifically, this is a Season 111. Not like Season 111, but I mean, this is the character 11 as seen in Season 1. But of course they make an 11 from every season. Damn you, alternate versions! Which I purchased every one of. Like Season 2 11. This is 11 from Season 2. She's a year older and a year darker, I guess. You got a angsty punk rock 11 here. And we've also got Season 3 11 in her fancy new mall dress. Let's go to the mall today. Again, very much with the Force-like hand happening there. And I do have to give them props for making these figures all just slightly taller than the other as the character ages. That's a pretty cool added layer of detail. Way to go, McFarlane Toys. Some other accessories that come with Season 111 include a blonde wig, another walkie-talkie, and an Eggo waffle, because she loves the Eggo waffles. Next, taking a step back into Season 1, we're going to have a look at Barb here. Barb is a very short-lived character in the series. Spoiler alert. But her character is forever immortalized in figure form. Although this is honestly one of the stranger things about this toy line. Yeah, see what I did there? because there are so many characters with longer story arcs that they still have not made, including all the older siblings in the show who are the same age as Barb, and main characters, but poor Barb has been picked on enough, so I won't give her any more grief. And she also comes with some school books, which sadly I believe is all that they find of Barb when she's devoured by the Demogorgon. And what is a Demogorgon, I'm pretending to hear you ask? Well, it's one of these lovely looking fellas. This is a creature that comes from a place known as the Upside Down, which is like some mirror universe shit where everyone and everything is evil, although they don't have mustaches. This, I believe, is the Demogorgon that comes through Mrs. Byers' wall and eventually eats Barb. Speaking of Demogorgons, can't neglect to mention Dart. So Dart is like the baby Demogorgon that Dustin takes as his pet in season 2. This Dart is obviously not to scale with this figure line, but instead it's supposed to be life-sized. You're just so squishy and rubbery and cute. Aren't you just the cutest little monster? Yes, you are. Yes, you're just the cutest little... Ah! 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 Another very integral character to the story is local Hawkins police chief Jim Hopper. Hopper is wearing his police uniform, and he comes with his police issue handgun and his little coffee mug, because he likes his coffee. Cheers, Hopper. And, after helping everyone locate Will Byers and fighting off the Demogorgons and whatever, he ends up adopting Eleven, and he has this will they won't they thing going on with Winona Ryder. It doesn't matter. There are 2 versions of Hopper from this toy line. Here we've got classic Season 1 Hopper, and here we've got Season 3 fancy 80s mall shirt Hopper, who has also got a bottle of wine in hand. I believe he's all dressed up, actually, for a date with Winona Ryder before, shit pops off. And while we're talking about alternate versions, of course, I also can't neglect to mention Upside Down Will. So this again goes back to the mirror universe thing I was talking about, where, like, in Season 2, Will does come out of the Upside Down, but it's, like, not Will, it's, like, Upside Down Will, or, like, he's, like, possessed by the Demogorgon. I don't remember. It's not important. This is Upside Down Will. And he also comes in his package upside down, which I thought was pretty cool. And finally, to round out this collection, and to bring it back to our Halloween theme, we've got the 4 boys again, but this time in their Ghostbusters Halloween costumes from Season 2. All 4 of these figures came together in a box set, and their accessories are, of course, ghost traps and proton packs. And I know these are just more alternate versions of the same character, but I just had to get them. If you have a look at their proton packs, you can clearly see that there's like a vacuum hose being used as the gun. So like, even though they do look pretty accurate, they still managed to make them look like homemade, which is like just really great levels of detail. This is a really good toy collection. Also, if you read the name tag on their uniforms, you'll see that they are dressed as a different member of the Ghostbusters. Except Mike and Lucas, they both came as Peter Venkman. Obviously, there's some subliminal expectation that Lucas would play Winston Zeddemore because, but this show challenges those expectations in a very woke and humorous way. And I mean like woke in the true sense, where anyone should be able to play any character they idolize, regardless of whether they're the right skin color. Although this also kind of demeans the character of Winston. Like, he's the Ghostbuster that no one wanted to be? But I think that really has far less to do with race, and more to do with the fact that Winston's character wasn't really utilized as well as he could have been in the Ghostbusters movie. But that's not really the point, and it doesn't matter. Anyway, Will also comes with the video camera, which he does carry around for most of the second season, so that is very accurate, and another really great accessory. In terms of likeness, they do a really good job. Not on par with some other McFarlane toys, but I think that has more to do with the scale of the figures. The larger their faces are, typically the more detail they can accurately include. I personally find 7-inch scale figures, they provide the best canvas for that really accurate likeness. But you can definitely tell who all of these people are, no complaints. And with these 4 alternate versions, I can officially give this toy line the Collection Complete stamp. Ah, man. There's just very few things in life more satisfying than completing a toy collection. Ugh. That isn't to say that they aren't going to make more figures. You never know. Stranger Things 4 could bring with it some new figures. Although I worry that interest in this series is dwindling with it being off air so long, and with Season 3 getting to be a little more I don't know, starting to feel more like a superhero franchise and less like the horror mystery series that it started out as. Either way, I loved the first couple seasons, and I'm still excited to see what the next chapter holds. And I love my Stranger Things collection. Anyways, these guys are now going back home next to some other, more iconic 80s horror characters, some of which were part of last year's month-long Haunted Halloween special! So if you enjoyed this review and you're looking for some more classic Halloween/horror vibes, check out those 4 other Halloween episodes. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on The Toy Shelf, and remember, you probably can be too old to go trick-or-treating, but you're never too old to play with toys. Happy Halloween!